Okay, today we're going to be working on section 4.4 worksheet 3. This is exactly the same stuff that we have been doing. The numbers might be a little bit uglier, but they are still nonetheless how you would do it. So, smallest number up here is a 6. Does 6 go into 37? No. Does 6 go into 35? No. So immediately we are going to go into our x. 35 is my a value, negative 6 is my c value, and I'm going to multiply those together. 35 times 6 is going to give us negative 210. Now, that negative means that I'm going to have opposite signs and I'm going to subtract. And I have to subtract down to get the number 37. So I'm going to go ahead and put an n plus and an n plus. So I need to find factors of 210. So I'm going to come over here and type 210. Now, I need to find factors that are going to subtract to give me 37. So I need to probably use bigger numbers over 37, which means I am not going to use any of these numbers down here. The 35, 30, the 21, or the 15. They're too small. They have to be over 37. So the very first one I see is 42 minus 5. Does 42 take away 5 give me 37? The answer to that is yes, it does. The only way that happens is if the 42 is positive and the 5 is negative. So I'm going to have 42 over 35, which is my a value, negative 5 over 35. Now, in your calculator, simply take 42 and divide it by 35, and you're going to get 6/5. And then 5 divided by 35, you are going to get 1/7. Okay? So we're going to go ahead and put that 5 in front of the n, and put the 7 in front of the n here, and then you are done. Okay? Next, number 4. Smallest number up here is 15. Factors of 15 are 1 and 15, 2, 3, and 5. 15 does not go into all of those. 5 does not go into all of those, but 3 will go into all of those. Okay? Now, with that being said, we're going to pull out a factor of 3. So if I pull out a factor of 3, I'm left with 8x squared plus 42 divided by 3 is 14x plus a 5. These are the new numbers I'm going to be using for my x. So here's my x. I'm going to put 8 over here. I'm going to put 5 there. So I need to have a positive 40. Positive means plus, plus, or minus, minus. Well, if I look right here, I need to have a positive 14. So in order for me to get a positive 14, they both must be positive, and I'm going to add to get to 14. So I drop down to 3, and I have x plus and x plus. So now I need to find the factors of 40. So I go ahead and my factor finder, and I'll put 40, and I need to add to get me to the number 14. So what factors are going to add to 14? Well, how about 4 and 10? 4 and 10 are exactly the factors we should be using. So 4 and 10 will give you 14, so that is going to be 4 over my a value 8, and then 14 over my a value 8. Reduce those. In your calculator, what do I mean by that? In your calculator, I want you to just simply reduce those. So I'm going to show you what I mean here. So you are going to have 4 divided by 8. That gives you 1/2. And then you have 14 divided by 8, which gives you 7/4. So drop down that 3, bring the 2 in front as a coefficient, drop down the 1, bring the 4 in front of the variable as a coefficient, and drop down the 7. And this is done. Okay? Let's keep going to number 7. Number 7, my smallest number up there is 24. No, it is not. My bad. The smallest number up there is 20. So the factors of 20 are 1 and 20, 2 and 10, 4 and 5. 20 does not go into all of those numbers. 10 doesn't and 5 doesn't. So 47 is not divisible by 4, and 47 is not divisible by 2 either. Which means I have a 1, and that is the only thing. Which means I simply have to just put this into 2 binomials. So the very first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to have a 20 as my A and a 24 as my C. 20 times 24 is going to give me 480. And I have to obtain a positive 47, which means I need to use plus plus, and I'm going to add. So this is going to be x plus, and this is going to be x plus. And now I need to find the factors of 480. So this is going to be 480. And they have to add to give me this middle term of 47. So what if these numbers are going to add to give me 47? Well, how about 32 and 15? 32 and 15 will give me 47. So this is going to be 32 over my A value of 20 and 15 over my 20. So I'm going to reduce this. 32 divided by 20 is going to give you 8/5. 15 over 20 gives you 3/4. So now you're going to bring that 5 and the 4 in front of your letter. So I have 5x plus 8, and I have 4x plus 3. And that is done then. 2 more problems I'm going to do on tonight's homework. Number 11, smallest number up there is a 6, but I also have an n in every one of my lovely little problems, which means I have a GCF of not only a number, but also a variable. So 6 goes into 12, but the 6 go into 90. And it does. So I'm going to pull out a 6n to the first power, and that's going to give me 2 n's left inside there to give me an n squared. 6 divided by 12 is 2, and I'm going to have 1 left. 90 divided by 6 is going to be 15, and I have no n's left in there. So now I'm going to go over here, and I'm going to do my x. But this time I'm going to use the coefficient of 1 and 15 to give me a negative 15. And I need to get a positive, which means my signs must be opposite, and I have to subtract. Factors of 15 that whenever you subtract them will give you 2. Those factors are 3 and 5. I have to have a positive 2, which means the 5 is going to be positive and the 3 is going to be negative. So 6n times n plus 5 over 1 times n plus negative 3 over 1. So that is 6n parenthesis n plus 5 times n minus 3. Okay. Last problem I'm going to do for you is number 16. Problem 16, smallest number up there is going to be a 20. Factors of 20 are 1 and 20, 2 and 10, 4 and 5. Well, they're not divisible by 20, 10, or 5 because they all don't end in a 0 or a 5. 21 is not divisible by 2 or 4, so that means there is no GCF. So that means I'm going to go straight to an x plus and an x plus. And I'm going to draw my x over here. 20 is A, negative 27 is C. Now you're going to multiply 20 times 27 to give you negative 540. The fact that it's negative tells you our signs must be different and we are subtracting, and I have to obtain positive 21. So I come over here and I'm going to put 540. If I can type the right thing. Now, remember, I'm subtracting, so I have to get over the number 21. Well, 27 minus 20, is that going to give me a 21? No. 30 minus 18, 30 minus 18 is going to give us a 12. How about 36 minus 15? That gives you a 21. So 36 minus 15 is going to give us the 21 that we wanted. The 36 has to be positive. So we're going to have an x. Sorry, I already have it there. Let me erase this. So I'm going to have a 36 over 20 and a negative 15 over 20. So I come over to my calculator and I type 36 divided by 20, and that gives me 9/5. I'm going to come over here and take 15 divided by 20, and that gives me 3/4. So they're already simplified. So now I'm going to go ahead and bring the 5 in front of the x, the 4 in front of the x, and you are done. That is section 4.4 worksheet 3.